You need to focus on you. It's chase excellence, not women. Say it over and over and over again. Chase excellence, not women. But guys will go around looking for those cheat codes, looking for those shortcuts to try to make stuff happen quickly. You can't go about it that way. In this video, I want to talk to a lot of you guys that are taking some unusual advice to an unusual level when it comes to women in the sexual marketplace. I talked to a guy the other day who was basically booking my time because he wanted to do better with women overall and get a girlfriend. But he called it the red pill universe. He had some fears and some reservations. So one of the first things that I'll do immediately is I'll start asking these guys, all right, well, what have you read? What resources have you consumed now that you call yourself red pill? What channels do you watch? And I quickly learned why he has a problem. And I'll tell you exactly what it boils down to. You need to work on the individual. Okay, there's a lot of stuff out there, and I looked at some of the channels this guy was talking about, and it's like titles of videos like, do this one thing and she'll always chase you. Don't text her this, otherwise this will happen. Do that and then that will happen. It's like, all right, dudes, you can follow these, these rules, and a lot of them, I'll be honest, are not that far off. But if the starting point is off, you got a problem. When the Germans took the engine out of the Lamborghini catalog for the R8, they said, we need something powerful, lots of cylinders. They pulled a V10, stuck it in here, and they engineered everything around that engine. That's what you got to look at yourself as, okay? You have to engineer everything around your life around the best part of it. This is the best part of the car. You need to engineer the best parts of your life around you if you want to have better luck with women or if you're looking for the girlfriends. This guy I was talking to right off the bat, late 20s, had been with 6 women. 4 of them he booked, or he paid for as prostitutes. The other 2 were just quick, fixes. They never went anywhere. It was very short-term basis. So right away, he doesn't have any experience. And then when you start asking him questions like, all right, well, what do you look like? What are the optics of your physique? What do you do for a living? Dude had a good job, made really good money in a stable industry, professional skills that, will plug in, well into the future. He's a very, very good, attractive looking candidate on paper, but at 6'1", he's 260 pounds and he's fat. Okay. If you're shaped like a pear, and you spend all of your time playing video games, competing in video games and not doing anything out in the real world, you're going to have a very, very hard time doing well with women or getting the girl or the girlfriend like this guy was looking for. And he was consuming, content on YouTube on channels that basically encouraged him to, make this one text, otherwise, she won't chase you. Or if you do these 4 things, she's going to chase you. And it's like, dude, you're approaching it from the wrong angle, okay? There's only a few guys out there that get this right. I'll be honest with you. There's only a handful of guys that will tell you straight up, are you the best version of yourself? We already know that women only swipe right on the top 20% of men. They've got data on this. A 3 to a 10 woman, so if she's a 3 out of a 10 or a 10 out of a 10, all these women in that range swipe right on dating apps on men that are 8 out of 10 or better. If you're a 7 out of 10, you're screwed, right? If you're not a top version of yourself, I'm not saying comparing yourself to, an athlete, a billionaire or anything like that, but on a scale of, 1 to 10, with 10 being the best version of you and 1 being the worst, if you're talking to me and you're like, well, I feel like a 4, don't chase women. You're wasting your time. You're going to have a terrible experience. You're going to be let down, and you're probably going to be taken advantage of. And if you, pursue it in the wrong way, you can run yourself through the divorce grinder and really end up in a really, really bad place, right? But you can't, think that you can just take these hacks and these, tricks or whatever, like, do this one trick and she'll always chase you, dude. Women don't chase 4s. They don't. I don't know why guys think that, if they just follow a couple of tips or watch a few videos that they're going to have great experiences with women. If you say that you're red pill aware, but you don't have any experience with women, you're fat, you don't compete in the real world, you're screwed. You have to be in the top I'm not even saying the top 1%. Okay, if you can get in the top 1%, awesome, right? Like I know that if I go to Google and I say, what is the top 1% of income earners in Toronto? It's like $320,000 a year. Cool. If I want to be in the top 1% in the ultra top class, that's all I need to make. Okay, some guys are going to, that's a lot of money. You can't do that. Fine, whatever. Aim for the top 20%. What is that? 100,000, 120,000? Look it up in your city. Figure out what the top income earners make. Look for jobs or create a business that allows you to live that lifestyle. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is, again, dealing with the inside, the man himself, before you go start chasing tail and all that sort of stuff. The second thing is, do you have the optics of masculinity? Okay, are you a strong, masculine-looking dude? And you're not going to get that sitting around competing on video games. You have to get out in the real world and do something. Play sports, do something athletic, play soccer, volleyball, go to the gym, join a dojo. I always tell you guys, if you feel like you're struggling, with competing on the sexual marketplace or being competitive, because what we know, guys, again, studies have told us what women want is they want men that are lethal but can be civilized, right? If you can't mess somebody up, which you're not going to learn that skill playing video games. You can play as much Mortal Kombat as you want. It doesn't matter because in the real world, it doesn't apply. If you can't mess somebody up in real life, should the need be called upon you, you're not the absolute best version of yourself. That's another skill I think guys should learn, okay? The competency of combat. It was one of the things that John Fitch, who's an MMA fighter who just retired, talked about in his Rule Zero chat. Okay, so there's that. Masculinity matters, and height doesn't matter as much as you think it does, guys. There's a lot of guys like, oh, I'm 5'8", I'm never gonna do it because all women want is like 6 foot tall dudes. One of my best friends that I've known for like 30 years, he was over on the weekend and we were talking. Dude's like 5'6", and he's not. Trust me, he's 5'6" in shoes. He's really like 5'4" because I know he wears inserts. And this guy got so much tail when we were growing up together. It's the optics of the V. That's why he got it. We used to call him Pocket Hercules because he had nice broad shoulders and a narrow waist and he looked good, and women dig that. So if you want to have an advantage, when you're lacking in the height area, optics of a nice V taper are going to get you that. You have to take care of the inner guy, not, copy and paste these text codes or don't do this one thing and then 99% of women are going to chase you, dude. Shit doesn't work that way. They're lying to you. These guys are full of crap. They're not telling you the reality of what actually drives attraction and arousal and keeps women around. You've got to be in the top 20% of men.
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.